You have friends, real ones, people you genuinely like, but somehow you never see them. Not because anything went wrong, not because anyone had a fight. You just stopped showing up for each other. And the strange part is nobody seems to notice. So what actually happened to hanging out? Think about the last time you made real plans with someone. Not a "we should hang out soon" text. An actual time, an actual place, an actual commitment. For a lot of people, that moment is hard to remember. You probably still talk to your friends every day. You see their stories. You react to their posts. You send memes back and forth at midnight. But when was the last time you sat in the same room with them? When was the last time you ate food together without anyone filming it? When was the last time a conversation happened that nobody screenshot? There is something quietly strange about that. You are more connected than any generation before you. You have more ways to reach people than ever. And yet a lot of people feel like they are drifting, not away from specific people. Just away. At first, it seems like a personal thing. Maybe you got busy. Maybe your friends moved. Maybe adulting just got in the way. That is what most people tell themselves. But here is the thing. This is not happening to just you. It is happening to almost everyone. Across different cities, different friend groups, different ages. The same slow disappearance of hanging out. And that is too consistent to be a coincidence. There is actually a pattern here, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let us start with something small. Yet someone texts you, "We should catch up." You feel warm for a second. You type back, "Yes, definitely. Let us plan something." And then nothing happens. Nobody follows up. Nobody picks a day. The conversation just quietly dies. But neither of you feels bad about it, because you both already feel caught up. You have been watching each other's lives online. You already know what they had for breakfast. You already saw their vacation photos. You already reacted to their big news before they even told you directly. So when you finally imagine meeting up, part of your brain thinks, what is even left to talk about? That is the first crack. Now, here is another one. Think about how plans actually get canceled these days. It almost never feels dramatic. Someone says they are tired. Someone says they have to wake up early. Yet someone says, "Can we do it next week?" And next week never comes. But again, nobody is truly upset. Because the alternative is not loneliness. The alternative is the phone. The phone is always there. The phone never cancels. The phone never needs you to put on real clothes. And this is where things get interesting, because the phone does not feel like a replacement. It feels like connection. That is exactly what makes this so hard to see. A few decades ago, boredom was a powerful social force. If you were bored, you called someone. You knocked on a neighbor's door. You showed up somewhere because there was nothing else to do. Boredom pushed people toward each other. Now, boredom does not have time to develop. The second you feel even slightly understimulated, your hand reaches for your phone, not as a choice, almost as a reflex. And it is not your fault. The apps in your pocket are designed by some of the smartest people alive. Their entire job is to make sure you never feel the gap. Never feel the quiet that would push you to call a friend. Never feel the boredom that leads to real experience. Because the moment you feel nothing, they are already there. A notification, a new post, a video that somehow knows exactly what you want to see. But that is not the strange part. The strange part is what happens to real social life when this continues for years. It does not disappear all at once. It thins out. Plans become rarer. Spontaneous meetups basically stop. and what replaces them feels close enough to friendship that most people do not raise an alarm. You are still liking each other's posts. You are still watching each other's stories. So the relationship looks exactly the same from the outside, but something in the texture of it has changed. It is like the difference between a real fire and a screen that shows a fire. It looks warm. It might even feel warm for a moment, but it does not actually heat the room. Here is what is actually happening underneath all of this. Every time you open an app, you are entering a system built around one thing: your attention. Not your happiness, not your connection, your attention. Because attention is what gets sold to advertisers, and the more time you spend inside the app, the more valuable you become. So these platforms are not neutral tools. They are environments engineered to be more satisfying than real life, more stimulating than a conversation, more validating than physical presence, and they are very good at their job. But when you post something and people react to it, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine. When you scroll and find something funny or surprising, another hit. When someone replies to your story, another one. These small rewards happen dozens of times a day, and real life cannot compete with that frequency. A real lunch with a friend has maybe a few good moments, but the app has something every 30 seconds. So your brain, without you telling it to, starts to prefer the app. Not consciously, just in the way it calculates where effort is worth spending. Canceling plans starts to feel easier than keeping them. Staying in starts to feel more reasonable than going out. And the phone starts to feel like enough. But here is what the system does not tell you. The dopamine hits from notifications are not the same as actual fulfillment. They feel similar in the moment, but they do not leave you feeling rested or whole. They leave you wanting more of the same thing, which is why you can spend 4 hours on your phone and still feel weirdly empty. And this is where things get interesting. Because what you are actually hungry for cannot be found on a screen. Studies on loneliness consistently show one thing: the quality of your close, in-person relationships is one of the strongest predictors of long-term well-being. Not how many followers you have, not how active your group chat is. The real thing: eye contact, shared silence, showing up. But the system is not built to give you that. The system is built to give you the feeling of that, just enough to keep you from logging off. Yet think about the people who matter most to you right now. Really think about them. When did you last see them in person? Not online, not in a video call, actually in the same room. For some people, the answer is recent. For a lot of people, the answer is uncomfortable. Months, maybe longer. And the strange thing is, the relationship still feels present. Because you are still in contact. You still send things to each other. You still know what is happening in their life. But something about it feels thinner than it used to. There is a specific kind of loneliness that is hard to name. It is not the loneliness of being isolated. It is the loneliness of being surrounded by people who are all slightly out of reach. You can see everyone. You can reach everyone. But something tactile is missing. Something that only happens when two people are physically present. When you sit with someone and you are both tired, and nobody is performing. Nobody is posting. Just two people existing in the same space. That is something no feed can replicate. But most people are getting less and less of it. And it is subtle enough that life still feels full. Your phone keeps you busy. Your calendar has things in it. Your social media shows a life that looks connected. But underneath that surface, a quiet kind of distance is growing. Between you and the people you meant to stay close to. Between you and real experience. Between you and the version of yourself that exists when nobody is watching. Most people feel this without being able to name it. That vague sense that something important is slowly going missing. Not taken dramatically, just quietly let go. You still have friends, real ones, people who would show up for you if you needed them. But somewhere along the way, showing up became something we do in emergencies only. Not something we do just because Tuesday exists. Not something we do just because it is nice to be near someone you like. The apps did not steal your social life. They just made it easier to feel like you still had one. And that is the quietest part of all of this. You did not lose your people. You just stopped going to find them. And they stopped coming to find you. And both of you kept scrolling. And somehow, that felt like enough. Until it did not.